we're talking about making some better decisions. It's first of the year, and so let's talk about that, how we can start.
And that's just it. I'm the founder of Money Starts Here, which is a financial education company, and that's simply what we have to do is we have to start. And the first thing when you really is just figuring out where you are, just taking, a piece of paper and writing down, all of your assets, like your bank accounts, maybe your retirement account, and then writing down your debt that you have, listing that out and figuring out, it's called doing your net worth, figuring out how much am I worth? And when you do that, it kind of puts things in perspective where you need to put your focus. And the best thing about being January is a couple things are about to happen for a lot of people. They may be getting a tax return, which means you can strategically spend that money. When I do my corporate workshops, a lot of times people are like, woohoo, I got my tax return. They take a vacation. They buy the big screen TV. They, treat themselves. And the next thing you know, that money's gone. When they could have strategically said, hey, I'm going to pay down some debt. I'm going to fund my emergency cash reserve. Doing those things in advance in January is critical and key to getting finally in a different place when it comes to your money. It really is fundamental.
Well, you also talk about the hidden costs of bad credit. Explain what that is.
Well, January is also another good time to go to annualcreditreport.com and get a copy of each one of your credit reports, because your credit really has the ability to affect a lot more than just borrowing money from the bank. Number one, a lot of employers use it to, look at it during the hiring process. And they do that because they know that someone that is financially stressed, if they've got bad credit, think about what happens to someone. What is leading cause of divorce in the United States, right?
Yeah, money.
Pretty much up there. So that means your relationships are stressed. The research shows, too, if you're financially stressed, it suppresses your immune system, which causes you to be sick, which maybe means you're distracted at work. It increases your blood pressure. It actually knocks 12 points off your IQ. So when you're financially stressed, an employer is going, wow, that may be one of the reasons why they're looking at it. It also impacts sometimes your auto insurance rates. A lot of auto insurance companies, depending on the state, will look at it to see if they're going to insure you. Yes, it looks at everything, and affects your borrowing from a bank. And I will tell you, it's not small amounts of money here. When my husband and I were dating, I had a pretty big punch list before things get too serious. And one of the things was, I want to look at your credit. And we both pulled our credit reports and shared it with each other. And I knew that he had a $40 collection based on a dispute that he had, and he didn't pay it. And that $40 collection ended up costing us $15,000 when we went to get a mortgage, because we missed a 0.25 deduction. So these aren't small things. Like I said, the title of my book, it's Your Money, Avoid Costly Mistakes. What I saw as a banker is people simply didn't understand. And just like my husband's an incredibly smart man with his master's degree, but he didn't understand the impact of being angry and not paying that $40 collection and how much it would cost him in the future, right?
I have heard that so many times where people get ticked off and they won't pay it because they don't feel it was theirs.
And that's exactly what we see. And obviously, when I was explaining to my husband, and when this whole thing went down with the mortgage, he paid it. It's like $40. Really, is $40 worth? I understand you're right, but the reality is, credit is kind of it's kind of a game, and you have to learn how to play and understand that in this day and age, you're going to have to deal with credit most likely, because it's very hard to save up $25,000 to buy a car, $150,000 to buy a home, and you have to have a credit history. And this is why, if anybody out there is listening and you have young adult children or somebody that's getting ready to go out into that often harsh real world of finance, getting this book, It's Your Money, Avoid Costly Mistakes, in their hands and giving them some kind of resource guide is critical if we really want them to succeed.